Hello. In this video, I'd like to talk about adventure ranks and world ranks in Genshin Impact, and how every 5 adventure ranks, at least after adventure rank 20, the world scales up in difficulty. At adventure rank 20, I didn't feel the bump that much. You kind of notice all the enemies have increased in level, but I don't think anyone really felt the difficulty go up. You just keep leveling your characters and leveling your weapons, and everything is fine. I think around this time as well, you might get the Geo Traveler, or for me, and I much preferred the Geo Traveler over the Animo. And yeah, it was just business as usual. But when you hit Adventure Rank 25, I started to feel the slight bump. It wasn't necessarily taking more damage, it was just the fact that things just weren't dying quick enough. So at this point, I just listened to the Adventurer's Handbook and tiered up all my relics to 8 as well. And yeah, that helped out a great deal. But at Adventure Rank 30, it was a bit different. I was doing my final exploration in the game, traversing around the Guyun Stone Forest, and just past that domain of Guyun area where the challenge is to fight that Stonehide Lower Troll in 45 seconds. And I just thought, I'll just do that later. And I just popped round the corner, opened 2 chests, and boom, Adventure Rank 30, world scales automatically. I thought there would be a quest like previously, but no. And when I tried the challenge, for reference, my F2P group at that time was Geo Traveler, Amber, Lisa, and Barbara. And needless to say, it was quite the struggle. Even with all the bursts, I could only knock him down to about 60% of his health. I then asked someone else to give this challenge a try because he basically was just a little bit behind me and managed to reach that area. I think it was the same adventure rank level. The difference is he's got a venti, and he just blew him down to 20% on his first try. So yeah, my team sucked. That was a bit of a wake-up call. For reference, there is actually a quest a little bit around there regarding those 2 martial artists without visions. I can't quite remember it. But at the end, you have to fight a Lawachol. I think it's about 120 seconds you get. And it took me a full 90 seconds to beat that guy. And yeah, I mean, twice as long as required. Also, around that area was a very interesting fight with those 4 rune guards. And there was that new challenge unlocked, the domain of the Wayward Path, where you had to fight 2 rune guards and 1 rune hunter at the same time. But after a bit of tearing up, maxing, and then pushing my relics even further, and this time I had to actually level up all my talents to 4. I started to find I was just about coping, and yeah, I just about managed to kill that Stonehide Lawachol in 43 seconds. And, well, a kill's a kill, I suppose. And that domain of the Wayward Path, it took about 6 minutes, I think, to beat that one. And those 4 rune between the domain of the Wayward Path and those 4 rune guards, I have this pathological hatred for rune guards and also stone hide Lawachols. Every time I see them, I just have to kill them. So yeah, things were hairy, but I was coping, and the team was grinding on. But it really started to feel like the Traveller and his merry band of travellers who just cheer him on the sidelines, and not like a real team that works together and contributes. believe it or not, the most useful member in the group was Amber. Barbara's heals were just, they were nice to have. They weren't really essential. And Lisa was, well, she was the god of DPS when it was raining, or some of those fights you could force into the water. But that's mostly situational. So yeah, adventure rank 35, and that hit my team hard. I mean, it was really, really bad. Those bosses just in the world, they were taking significantly longer. Those lava trolls, those lava trolls, not a chance. Just leave them alone. It just took too long. Even the easy ones like the Sison mages, who I had to beat on just to get some of the materials for the two weapons I was using at the time, they they were just taking. Oh, it was painful. I mean, you know it's bad when you're fighting these bosses like the Sison Mage and you totally forget they have this charge up attack where they float around, going all super lightning mode and zapping you. And the Lara trolls, if you take so long, they get their shield back. When you see that, that's a very clear indication of team suckiness, and alterations were essential. So, I mean, what could I have done? I've done all the basics. I maxed out the level, maxed out the weapon. Talents, I can't do the constellations because I'm mostly free to play. So, after some, well, not necessarily deep thought, but some thought, I had option one was to try and roll for a Klee, and that generally was the plan. She was great in that Adventure Rank 32 quest, but as time approached and the banner was released, I kind of just she didn't click with the team. I think she would basically have to be the center of the team, and I'd have to base everyone around her. So it would probably be like Klee, Amber, and then two other elementals, which kind of wiped the Traveler off. I've had so much investment into him. I couldn't really justify the resource waste, and this isn't even guaranteeing I'm gonna get a Klee. I could just get a lot of the other 4 stars uh, and another 5 star, and this could be the only 5 star character I get. I also was thinking towards the Abyss as well, and I can't just have one character do everything. I sort of need to split the resources a little and have another good DPS in the second team. I didn't want the 4 stars. I've got the water dude. Sorry, keep forgetting his name.
Xingqiu, at your service, my liege.
We had a free Noel, and I lucked and I used quotes on that. I lucked out and got a Sucrose. Still, I wouldn't mind getting some of their first constellations, but I can't really afford it. So, no Klee. Sad. I really liked her, but having played her trial now, I think it was for the best. She's damn good, but she's very awkward. You've kind of got to adapt to her playstyle, and yeah, it would be the dream to team her up with some of the other characters like a cryo team, but this is like that's the F2P's dream. I don't get that, so it is what it is. So I need to upgrade my crappy team. I wanted to keep the Geo Traveler. For all the hate he seems to get and the tier lists he's just dumped at the bottom, I found him to be relatively reliable, but it's not like I have a good comparison baseline compared to my other characters. Yes, he's got problems, glitchy problems, and don't get me started on those. So I kind of had to work on trying to squeeze more from the stone, and I had to look for who was going to support him. Maybe even maxing the relics up to 16 now. But there was also another way, and that was to go for two duo elements. Even then, it was a bit slim pickings. I had two geos and two waters and three fires. So the rest were, yeah, I couldn't do those. I didn't have fish oil then or sucrose, so I couldn't include those. So yes, Geo had to be a must simply because I have the Geo Traveler. That meant Noel was in the group as well. So water was interesting because it made the group really tanky. They had the shields, they had the extra healing, but yeah, I would hadn't have to have Barbara and the water dude, and I I need damage. So yeah, yeah, that wasn't an option. So I had to be fire, and of them I have three options: Amber, Zhang Ling, and Bennett. So I just kept Amber because she was leveled, and Bennett kind of had the better support skill. So this meant Lisa and Babs, they they're out. And Bennett, no, in they come. I will miss Lisa, for many reasons. But yeah, Babs did nothing. She just healed stuff, and when there was a fire shield, she decimated them. But that doesn't really warrant her a spot on the team. I didn't mind Noel. I had, I don't know if this was lucky or not, but I had a full gladiator set, but I just didn't want to use it because two of the pieces of the main stats amp defense. So yes, it clearly has a Noel written all over it, but I didn't like the idea of committing a relic set and a weapon to one character. As I have limited resources, I tended to go for the generic damage types like attack and crit. Well, here's hoping there's another defense character that comes along, but then I have to orangey get that as well. Amber's pretty much the same, and she kind of earned her spots. She has Fire Rain with the Exile set. She chucks the bunny. She's got Favonius Warbow. It's sort of a nice-ish support, and it has served its she has served her purpose. Yeah, I'd prefer a Klee, but the scrapes that bunny has got me through. It's sort of kind of funny. I don't want Amber. I want her bunny. Bennett was a lot better than expected. I really liked his burst, his fantastic voyage skill, and just frankly at the start he became my healer. He's actually wearing the Maiden Beloved set that Barbara had. So yeah, Benny the Maiden. Now at the start I really didn't enjoy the team. I did notice the Traveller obviously had that little bump in damage just from the team's elemental resonance. But yeah, the others didn't really cut it that much, but it was just simply they weren't leveled. I mean, Bennett was 40, Noel was 40 as well, and Noel didn't even have her weapon at that point. But yeah, as I started, I thought, you know, sod it. I dumped the Gladiator set on Noel, I pumped it up, gave her the specialized Claymore, and leveled up more her talents more. And yeah, I was starting to notice even at like just like at 50 before her ascension, she was doing good damage. And then when you got to 70, yeah, she could outclass the Traveler as long as she had sweeping time up. She was also like super tanky. When I was trying Abyss runs and had to split the teams, the Traveler was just getting his ass handed to him, and if he didn't have the black sword, the pay to win sword, so Bennett gets the Traveler's hand me down. I just don't think I could have done the Abyss floors as easily. So now, yes, the team is actually feeling a bit more cohesive, but it really does feel like a blunt axe. It's just you just whack things and uh, it will get the job done, and you tend to survive most encounters. But yeah, as I've been trickling along, I'm now adventure rank 39. I think in the next day or two, I will be 40. And I can't help but feel extremely apprehensive about it, considering my experiences at every world rank bump. I always felt that increment in tankiness of enemies, not the damage, just the overall time it takes to kill everything. And I've overcome it by getting the point where the game is at least palatable to play. But I do remember it was just a lot easier. Just everything ate a giant rock and died. Now at 40, I'm completely out of tricks. There's nothing I can really think of to amp the team up, except to get 5 stars or start really making good use of elemental synergies, and I that would be just transforming the team. To be honest as well, I don't even know if my team has got better or not, or I've just adapted to taking longer to swiping enemies and killing them. So yeah, um, well, let's just hope for the best, and let's hope the next character banner can somehow bump my team. And until then, Rage Quit will be on hold.